This is Bobby with Renaissance Game Supply. So I wanted to kind of show what I was talking about the LED being too bright. I mean, if you look, you can see where the shadow ends and that LED light begins. Now watch this. When I pull on this little self-made little blocker here, look at that. So it's a little darker because I'm moving that shadow past that. Now watch here in a minute. Let's see if I can adjust these. And I'm not recommending everybody do this. I'm just, just a tech who's trying a couple little things here to see if I can produce a different result. And hopefully that result will be a successful result. All right, so I'm gonna bend this back just a little bit more. I might put a zip tie on just to kind of pull it back. Maybe one right over this, and then one looped through it. What I mean is this. All right, I'm gonna pause it and I'll be right back. All right, so this is what I was talking about. Zip tie up around and then through, and what that does is it pulls it back. You can see that the shadow is now back past the top corner of the card. And what I want to show you and why I think it might have some effect on the camera here is if you come right here, you see how you can actually read the name Forest now, where before, when that was light was over that corner, I mean, look now, that's just blown out, right? So we're gonna push that back. There you go. Now you can read it. I mean, it almost looks crisp. So the other thing is too, I've noticed that it's just cockeyed. And here's what I've noticed. If you come over here and you look at your little robot arm, you look at it at an angle here, and I don't know if you can really tell from the video here, but when you're standing in front of this in person, it's very obvious. So the camera is cockeyed already. I don't know how to fix that yet. So I want to show you, I'm gonna leave it in its present state, and I'm gonna try not to break the mount on it here. It is printed plastic, so let's go. I want to show you what happens when I try to straighten that out a little bit. I'll watch what happens. See how it does shift? It tries to straighten out the angle. I may grab the back and the front opposing corner. And what I mean is like this. Actually, I'm gonna come grab it right here. I think that's a better mount. See how much it moves? Watch this. See how that almost straightens that card out in that camera view? And then all you gotta do is crop left a little bit to get the rest of the card edge in. And see how it changed the corner over here? And then the sets, see? And the other thing too is that camera may not be sitting level. And what I mean by level, I noticed when I moved it, it pulled that set symbol back more towards the center of that view. But watch, this is what I mean by the camera may not be sitting level. When you look over the top edge of this, it looks like it's angled down. Let me see here, I'm gonna try and show you what I'm talking about. This looks like it's angled downward. See that? That's probably more level right there. So I am going to dig out a non-magnetic level. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna level this. I'm gonna level this. And I'm gonna check out this too. Oops, let me get my finger out of the way. I wanna check out how level this is, because we might be fighting issues with camera that has nothing to do with camera. It might just be by just sheer the fact that none of this is level. So if you don't have any of this kind of level, going through the software and adjusting the calibration and the settings and all that kind of sort of stuff might just be for nothing, because this moment something like this is bumped, all those calibrations are gonna be right out the window. But if all this was level first and straight, I think you'd have a better chance of getting a better picture and maybe less bugs and less issues. But again, I mean, that's just me speculating. I haven't really put any of this theory to test here, but I plan to. So I'm gonna see if I can find me a non-magnetic level. And the reason why I want non-magnetic is I don't want to, let's see here. Let's see, this is magnetic. And I want to avoid that. I want just a plastic little level or something, just something small to kind of get in there. Because I don't want it to pull anything. I don't know if magnets would mess any of this up, but it's around the camera, so I just don't want to chance it. But let's see, like we got 2 screws right down in here. You got your little set screws right there and right there. And I think if I loosen those up, it's not really gonna help much. Now, there is a thing that in the field that we normally can do if if a device is kind of cockeyed or whatnot, you could always put like little set washers right in behind like this screw here, right in between the mounting plate and this metal rail. And what that would do is it would force this backside out, maintaining the front side, and it would force this opposite corner to pull inward. And when you pull inward, look what happens when I pull inward. Boom, it almost straightens up the card image. And watch, when I let go, it goes right back to being crooked. So I think that's part of what I'm fighting here, but I'm not gonna fix any of that tonight. I'm just gonna play with it. Now what I am gonna do is, I'm in calibration mode at the moment, as you can tell right here. So, and if you're having issues like this at home, I mean, you're welcome to try this for yourself, or if you don't want to, I mean, you don't have to, but. So I'm gonna go into the camera settings, and what I'm trying to play with is that camera left crop. So I'm gonna jump down to 480, save settings, and then review images, and I wanna see if it moves. Boom, okay, so that moved. All right, so now the problem is I need that set symbol right about here, I would think. Somewhere in the middle, because if it slops around, it's gonna move over here, it's gonna move there, I mean, but generally if it's like right here to begin with, you've got a lot of room for that card to kind of slop and slide around in those troughs. I mean, you got quite a bit of travel here. So we need to get it off the margins, so to speak. How are we gonna do that? I don't know. There is more settings to play around with here. So we want maybe this Y offset, maybe the X offset. I'm gonna try Y offset real quick. I wanna see if I put it at a 0. What will happen, and review images, and see how the robot arm moved. So it moved the opposite direction of what I wanted. So now I'm gonna go back and move that cursor the opposite way. So now we were at 5. Now I'm gonna move it 5. I don't know if this is degrees. I don't know what these units of measurement are here. But we're just gonna go to 10 because that was better than 5, or just the opposite direction of going to 0. Save settings, review image, and see, now that's kind of more to the middle. I mean, it could still come down just a tad more, but I think if I move it another, I don't know, I'm gonna just say that that's 5. It ain't 5 degrees, I don't know what it is, but if I move it to 15, it's probably gonna cause that to, I don't know. We're gonna find out. I don't know what I'm talking about, so we're just gonna play. So let's go to 15. Oops, sorry, I didn't even have that in view, sorry. Save settings and review images. Oh, see how it forced it more to the bottom? So I think 10 is our happy medium here. So we're at 10, save, review images, puts it back towards the middle-ish. Okay, so the card is still cockeyed. Oops, sorry. Hold it up here. I need to get a tripod. The card is cockeyed. There's nothing I can do about that without changing the actual camera mount like we just talked about. So now it did throw this off over here as well. And somebody did say you could physically adjust the focus. So while we have this in view and we're in calibration mode, we're gonna try that. And it's right here is your camera. See that little guy right up in there? Now you can physically turn this with your fingers. Just like this. Right there, just turn, and you can gently feel it. And here's what's gonna happen. Oops. So I'm blocking it with my finger now. We're gonna back it out a little bit. See? I noticed this changed position again, so we're gonna mess with that again. Hold on here. Let me just see if I can get in here and play with it again. I think that moves. I could be wrong. Maybe that's not how you adjust the focus. But it feels like it turns a little. I'll know because it'll get blurry. Look how clean and crisp that is. I don't know if that improved it. I will have to adjust that again. But see, even like if you look down at the card, it's in this pocket. I mean, even if it was as straight as possible, which it's got quite a bit of play in there, which it's probably good to have that. It didn't really straighten the card out a whole lot here. But that doesn't mean that these are squared either. These may not even be squared. These could be cockeyed in here too, which could throw everything off. I mean, the only really way to tell is to put a level on the edge here and see if these all touch. So let's try that, because that could be the issue too. Hold on here. We're gonna do this live. There's the level. And hopefully this won't screw something up, but it shouldn't. It should be just all plastic over here, I would hope. I don't think my level's long enough to go across all three. Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. See how it's laying flat against that edge? And then there's a slight gap up there. And then there's an obvious gap right there. So these are not exactly put in here all nice and straight, which is gonna throw the whole base off. So if you're trying to mess with that, you're probably never gonna get a perfectly dead-on picture that's centered into that. And I think that's why they kind of encourage you to go into the camera settings, and we're gonna look at the left crop here. And if you wanna go, I think a little wider, you can do like a 460. We're gonna try it. Let's gonna see what happens here, because what I'm trying not to do is capture part of the image from another card to the left of it. So we're gonna hit save, review images, and see if that shifted. So it shifted a little bit. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of happy with the centering a little bit. Now I'm gonna try the top, but the top is gonna throw this off, which we can go back and try the offset. So let's try it. Let's memorize our settings here. Y offset is at 10. Card upper crop is at 390. So I wonder what happens if I back that off to 375. Save it, view it. Okay, so it added more. We don't want to add more, we want to subtract more. So that was at card upper. Where did I go here? That's at 375, so We want to go the opposite direction. We're going to go to 405. Save. Review image. Okay, so that's a little closer. That's a little tighter. Now that put that set symbol up closer to the top. So again, like I said, if you start moving around, the robot's dropping it in, doing its thing. I mean, it may not see. See, watch, I just moved it and now it's cut off again. So let's try to get that back to the center. So we already remembered we were at 10 on the Y. So let's go to 15. We're gonna save it. And the robot moved. Review images. Now it kind of put it closer to the bottom, but I think I'm already maxed out at the bottom, so that's not gonna go out of view. So watch, I move my hand. So that's still in view. The card is still mostly centered, but that's again bottomed out in this little pocket. So is it gonna always happen? Probably not. It's moving around. Let's max it out at the very top. See what happens. Set symbol's kind of where I want it. And this is still mostly centered and it can see this. We're gonna give this a shot. Let's try it. I mean, again, this is just trial and error at this point. I mean, I'm not factory trained on this or nothing, but I've just been playing around with it long enough that I think I know a little bit about what I'm doing with it now, but yeah, probably not. Let's see, camera settings, the brightness. Let's play with the brightness and the color balance real quick. I think color balance was recommended somewhere between 2 and 3, so we're gonna leave that at 2, but let's check the brightness. Because like right now, or review, so I got kind of a little blowout light leak. I would call it a light leak a little bit right there in that corner because it's a little brighter than everywhere else. So let's go back to camera brightness. I don't know if this is gonna dumb it down, but we're gonna go to 7, save, review. I don't visually see a difference in that, so let's go the opposite way. Let's go to 9, save, review. It seems cloudier. It doesn't seem bright. So let's go ahead and save that. Just leave it alone right there. We're gonna, to get out of that, we're gonna hit stop calibration. There we go. All right. So that's the other thing too. I noticed in order to calibrate it, you've got to go feeder row, third row, third pocket in to set a card. That's where it has its calibration home position. So I'm gonna mark that eventually or something, just so I always know that it's that pocket. So here we are, Lost Caverns of Ixalan. They're not very thick stacks, maybe 20 cards, maybe 15, 18 in each, 12, something like that. Doesn't matter, I'm just testing this. I'm not trying to run this thing for days on end. Let's see, where are we at? We want to go to send command. We're going to be in custom because we got a particular set. So Lost Caverns of Ixalan. Close. Yes, I want it emailed to me. I still don't understand what the assignment is and what the difference of nearest and fixed. It doesn't matter right now. So lightly played, English, and I want to sort A to Z since it's already sorted by set. I want it done like that for right now. So send. And if this works, this will be the 3rd time in a row that it has worked with those few tweaks I've made, plus this light blocker. That's the other thing too, I made sure it cleared the movement of the robot arm there. But I'll be making a much better piece, and I'll probably put a black one in there instead of 2 blue ones. That way, hopefully it'll knock down some more light. And again, I don't even know if that's actually fixing anything. It's just, I couldn't see the name and it was kind of driving me nuts. Oops, sorry. Here we go. Oops, we need to be on the review images because this is what I want you to see. Sorry for the bouncing of the camera. I really do need to get a tripod here. Oops. So now I noticed it's not taking a picture. So that's a little concerning. So logging. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. Alright, so this one here is a little out of view. And it appears the bottom is definitely out of view. So we might fix that on the next go round. Maybe that's not too important anyway. That is some serious camera delay if that's taking that long to take a picture. I don't know if there's a way to increase that speed or not. This is an encouraging sign, seeing that it is separating it by letter again. Ooh, look how dark that is. I like that. I know that there's a setting in here called camera delay, and I don't know if that's what I'm experiencing is that setting, or if this is just the natural, not natural, if this is the speed of the machine. I mean, it doesn't matter if it is or not. I mean, it saves my ass time from doing this. It's perfectly fine with me. I just want it to work efficiently and effectively like a machine should. So that's part of my obsession with this little project. And these are nice, clean shots. That set symbol's getting a little out of there though. You can see it's not really going in straight. There's a little bit of a slop there, but that's okay. I mean, it's gotta have some built-in what's the word I was looking for? Damn. Tolerances in here. So I think this is doing a pretty good job, and overall, man, I really am impressed with this little magic sorter. That's why I put one on pre-order I don't know, 35, 40 days ago, 45, maybe 50 days ago, something like that. But then when I found that there was one that needed some repair potentially, and I was only 4.5 hours away from my house, I drove over and picked it up because this was too good of an offer to pass up, and just having an opportunity to play with one before you actually get one. Alright. Hopefully it's not hanging up. It's already taken too long. There's something going on here that the camera does not like, or there's a bug. And it's going to stop. Whoops. And this is the frustrating part. Not in a bad way, but just in a, man, it would just be nice to see this just run. So there's something not quite right just yet. But man, we are getting very, very close. And it just stops. And I don't know what that can be. Well, let's go to login and see what happens. Yeah, see, it's not doing anything. Camera could not capture a valid image. I don't know what that is. There's my phone. My watch, I mean, telling me that I just got my list. Very small list of sorted cards. So I think what I'm gonna do at this point is wait for it to shut down here. Alright, I think I'm done for the night because I've done just about every possible thing I can think of. So I'm going to get log and I'm going to send that into support because there's probably something I'm doing wrong because obviously I'm new to it. Oh, that's my wife. I'm going to hear a ding in a minute. I should hear a ding. And what that is that's telling me I'm getting my log email. And that's the one I'm going to forward to support. Because I wonder if it's not a camera firmware issue because you only got touch screen and the robot itself that has firmware. Maybe it could be the Raspberry Pi needs to be updated. Don't know. This camera is powered off the Raspberry Pi. Alright, I'm going to turn this camera off because this email has not come through yet. I don't want to keep you all on hold for a while. Anyway, that's pretty much as far as I can go. I appreciate you all watching. Hopefully this is helping you with if you all have some camera issues as well. Kind of giving you an idea of how you can troubleshoot it. Alright, y'all have a good night. Thanks for watching. Bye.